Dear brothers and sisters in Christ, in our everyday life, all of us make choices. We learn to choose this or that, and these choices reveals our convictions, our values, our beliefs, and in the God in whom we believe. In the first reading, Joshua calls all the tribes of Israel and his household and calls them and to make a decision, take a choice for their life and the God for whom he serves. At the end of the discourse, he says, "As for me, for my household, I will choose, I will serve the Lord." Dear brothers and sisters Christ, making choice is a process. This process requires the reflections on our life. This process requires and necessarily needs our personal decision to make choices. At the end, it calls us to face the consequences of these choices. The process is a matter of reflection of life, which means that Joshua, when he called them to ask them to make choice for their Lord, he started telling the narrative story of their own life, the liberation story. They came from Egypt, they came to the promised land, and the Lord was with them. It means the good time they had with the Lord, one who saves them and to bring them to the promised land. So it was the matter of faith, is a matter of life, and it was a matter of death. So making choices reveals a reflection of our own life, the past stories and the memories. The personal decisions. Now making a journey with the Lord in a communal way as the people of Israel was a very good thing because it shows this family spirit. But as for Joshua, it was very important that faith they had, the communal faith, should be entered into their personal life. It was a very important thing for him. For that, he says at the end, I, for my sake, for my household, I choose Lord. It is very important because the decision that we make should be influenced, come from the incidents, the personal experience that we had from the Lord. The consequences also he reveals. One who chooses the Lord will enjoy the prosperity. One who chooses the idols will bring the distraction to our own life. Dear brothers and sisters, as I reflect, the everyday choices, especially the most important one that we make, how do we make? Do we take into consideration the reflection on our own life and the connection, the faith journey that we make with the Lord? And are we convinced? Are we convinced with the decision that we make? Not only the conviction and also the consequences, do we take responsibility for our own choices? In the second reading, St. Paul says it is not easy to make choices because the choices that we make to serve the Lord, when we say our choice is Jesus, it calls for the submission to Christ. Now, the submission to Christ is a reciprocal. The choice that we make for Him is that of leader's servantship. Now, we choose Him like a servant to carry out His will, His purpose in our own life. Dear brothers and sisters Christ, making choice is a serious thing. It's not easy thing. In fact, in the gospel, people start asking, no, how is it possible? It is very difficult to believe the teachings that Jesus is teaching. It's difficult, but in fact, just believe and go to the mass because it is the place where which is help us to make reflect on how we take choices, how we make choices. and how we make our personal decisions. In fact, in the Eucharistic celebration, we come to know the sacrificial love that Jesus showed, the the fruit and also the gift of the Eucharistic celebration was was a gift of the choice that Jesus made, the submission to the Father, the obedience to the Father. He came to do the will of the Father in this world. At the fruit of this choice, we are saved. Dear brothers and sisters, so every time that we make choices in our life, remember to make reflections on our own life, the journey that we have with Jesus, and to be convinced with the choices that we make, and to take the responsibility for the choices that we make in our life. Happy Sunday to all.